Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Sam.
And I'm Taylor.
Today we are doing something a little different. We're taking a detour.
A massive detour, actually.
Because usually when I say the word Goa to you or, to anyone, the brain just autopilots to a very specific image. You're probably picturing sun loungers, maybe a Kingfisher beer, a psytrance party, or those massive white churches in old Goa.
The Instagram Goa. It's the tourist Goa. And look, don't get me wrong, that version exists and it's fun.
Of course.
If you want to sit on a beach, that's great. But if you stop there, you're basically just reading the dust jacket of a book and claiming you've read the novel. You're missing like 90% of the story.
Exactly. So our mission today is to completely ignore the beach shacks. We are going off-road.
Way off-road.
We're going to uncover a secret Goa that's hiding in plain sight in quiet villages, deep forests, and crumbling ruins. A history that goes way, way before the Portuguese ever showed up.
And that is the key. We've pulled together a stack of sources, archaeological reports, architectural studies, to map out 10 specific sites. And these aren't just pretty buildings. They're evidence of a really complex, multi-layered culture.
So where are we starting?
We're going to trace a line from pre-colonial temples to ancient ports that traded with Mesopotamia, all the way to living ancestral homes.
Okay, let's do it. So we're starting our journey not on the coast, but way inland, deep into the Western Ghats to find something that technically shouldn't even exist anymore.
Specifically, about 65 kilometers from Panaji, we're heading to the Mahadeva Temple at Tamdi Surla.
Now, I want you to picture this. You've driven through spice plantations, the air is getting cooler, heavier.
You're gaining elevation.
Right. You arrive at this clearing, and it's surrounded by this dense, thick forest. If you get there early, the whole thing is just wrapped in mist.
And sitting there is this small, compact structure made of pitch black stone.
And that black stone is the first clue here, isn't it?
It's the biggest clue. That's basalt. Now, if you know anything about Goan geology, it's mostly laterite, that reddish, porous rock you see everywhere.
So basalt isn't local?
Not at all. Bringing it here was a massive effort. This temple dates back to the 12th or 13th century Kadamba dynasty. It is the oldest surviving temple in the entire state.
Okay, let's pause on surviving, because we know the Portuguese colonial era, well, it involved a lot of destruction of earlier religious sites.
Yeah.
So how did this one make it?
Geography. Pure and simple. It survived precisely because it was so remote.
Hidden by the forest.
Hidden by the Western Ghats. And structurally, because it's basalt, which is incredibly dense and weather-resistant, it withstood 700 years of intense monsoons. Laterite would have eroded away. Basalt endures.
The details are incredible. I was looking at photos of the carvings. There are elephants, lions, these intricate motifs. They don't look weathered at all.
What's fascinating is the blend. It's primarily a classic Western Chalukya style, but you also see Jain influences in the detailing. It's a Shiva temple, but the craftsmanship shows this synthesis of styles that was already happening back then.
And it's not just a museum piece.
No, it's an active site. You'll still smell incense burning there today.
That theme of synthesis feels like a really big deal in Goa. It wasn't just old stuff getting destroyed and new stuff getting built. It feels more like things merged.
Precisely. If we fast forward a bit, look at the Shantadurga temple in Kavlam. It's a perfect example of that architectural resilience.
This one looks totally different, right? It's not a stone temple in a forest.
Completely different. It's a fusion. You have the traditional Hindu temple layout, but then you look up and you see this distinctive colored dome that looks, well, it looks almost European.
It's that Portuguese aesthetic mixed with the Hindu design.
Exactly. And the deity herself, Shantadurga, is a mediator. The story goes she settled a massive battle between Vishnu and Shiva.
Which is such a perfect metaphor for the architecture itself.
It really is. And just nearby, in Priol, you have the Mangeshi Temple.
Oh, this is the one with that massive tower.
The Deep Stamba, the lamp tower. It's 7 stories high. Visually, it's stunning, especially during festivals when they light oil lamps in every single niche.
It must look like a pillar of fire.
It does. But historically, the site is about survival. The deity was actually moved here from a different location to save it from persecution during the early Portuguese rule.
So the community literally picked up their gods and rebuilt around them.
That's right. They were determined. And briefly, you mentioned the Nageshi Temple, specifically for the engineering.
Yes.
The Sabha Mandapa, or the Assembly Hall, has incredible acoustic engineering. The ceiling was designed to amplify chanting without creating echoes. The wood and stone carvings there are some of the finest in the region.
So we've established these deep layers of spiritual history, but here's where it gets really interesting for me. We think of Goa's history starting in 1510 with the Portuguese, but you're saying we need to go back way further.
Much, much further. Let's look at the archaeology.
Okay, we're heading to the Arvalum Caves.
Right. These are rock-cut caves near the Arvalum waterfalls. They date back to the 6th or 7th century.
And they weren't just homes, were they?
No, they were retreats. The layout and the inscriptions suggest they were used by Buddhist monks.
Buddhist monks in Goa. That's not a connection most people make.
It's not, but it makes perfect sense when you think about it. Monks traveled along trade routes. They needed places to rest and meditate during the monsoons.
And the caves tell us that Goa was a stopover on those ancient networks, like 1,500 years ago.
Exactly. And then you have the megalithic sites near Pale Village. These are even older.
Dolmens, right, like huge stone burial chambers.
Huge. And they link Goa to the wider megalithic culture of the Deccan Plateau. It shows the people here were never isolated. They were part of a much bigger network.
And speaking of networks, the excavations at Harmal, that just blew my mind.
This is the aha moment. Harmal is a coastal village, popular with backpackers now. But underneath all that sand, they found a sophisticated ancient port.
And the evidence is just undeniable.
Undeniable. Get this. Roman coins.
Let's pause on that. Roman coins in a Goan village.
Mesopotamian pottery. It proves that thousands of years ago, Goa was already a global player. Ships were coming in from the Middle East, from the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sleepy fishing coast. It was a cosmopolitan hub.
That completely reframes the whole discovery narrative.
You can't discover a place that's been trading with the world for millennia.
Okay, let's jump forward to get into something more visible, the forts. Everyone goes to the forts for that insta-perfect photo.
Right, the Dil Chata High pose at Chapora Fort, it's practically mandatory.
Guilty. But there's so much more to them. Let's talk about Kapadurama.
My favorite, just for the atmosphere. It's on the southern coast, on a cliff, like 180 meters above the sea.
And it's quiet. Unlike the northern forts, you can actually hear the ocean.
It's named after Lord Rama from the legends, but historically, the Portuguese used it as a major garrison to protect the southern coast. It's crumbling, isolated. It has this haunted, beautiful feeling.
Then you have Tiracol Fort, which is barely a ruin at all.
No, Tiracol is a preservation success story. Northern tip of Goa. It's a heritage hotel now, but the structure is intact. It's small, though.
It has an intimate scale.
Yeah, it feels like a colonial garrison, not some massive palace. It
Yeah, right.
controlled the river. And the Chapel of St. Anthony inside is still active, so you have locals mixing with guests. It's a great example of adaptive reuse.
And then, of course, Chapora. We have to mention it.
We do, but you have to look past the Bollywood fame. Look at its strategic placement. It sits at the mouth of the Chapora River.
So, enemy ships had to pass right under its guns.
Exactly. There are underground ammo rooms and escape tunnels that are ruins now. It was a serious military machine. It was designed to kill.
Okay, moving from the military to the spiritual again. But this time, Catholic heritage. We're not going to the Basilica. We're going to a hilltop in Canthalim, the Three Kings Chapel.
This place has a view that rivals anything in the world. 180 feet up, just a sweeping look at the Arabian Sea. But it's the story that gets people.
The mystery.
The legend of the Three Kings. Supposedly, 3 Portuguese power players met there. It ended in betrayal. One poisoned the other 2.
And then committed suicide out of guilt.
Right. So it adds this layer of intrigue to what is otherwise a very peaceful, simple place.
And you can contrast that with the Immaculate Conception Church in Panjim, right? The big white wedding cake building with the zigzag stairs.
It's iconic. The stairs are designed for visual drama. The bell is the second largest in Goa. But if you want the real feel of Goan faith, you go to St. Lawrence in Agasame.
This is the one that just feels like a village church.
Yes, 16th century. It's not grand or pompous. It has these original wooden altars and a quiet community vibe. It's where you see the day-to-day faith of the people, away from the tour buses.
I love that. It's about the people, not just the bricks. Which leads us perfectly to our next segment, living heritage. Because history isn't just in ruins.
It's in the homes people still live in. This is the living museum concept. We have to talk about Ludolem and Chandor.
These villages are like time capsules. You have places like the Casa Araujo Alvarez, which is 400 years old.
And then there's the Braganza house in Chandor. It is stunningly opulent. I mean, we're talking Belgian crystal chandeliers, Italian marble floors.
Sounds incredibly European.
It is visually, but this is where the Indo-Portuguese architecture really shines. The climate adaptation is fascinating. They didn't have air conditioning, right? And Goa is hot and humid.
So how did they stay cool? High ceilings?
High ceilings, yes, to let hot air rise, wide verandas to shade the walls, but the windows, this is the genius part, they used oyster shells instead of glass.
Oyster shells, you're kidding.
No, specifically the Placuna placenta shell. They cut them thin. Unlike glass, which acts like a greenhouse, the shell filters the light. It cuts the glare and the heat, but lets in this soft, glowing light. It's brilliant local engineering.
That is so cool. I mean, literally cool.
It is, and if you want to step back in time completely, you have to take the ferry to Devar Island.
Devar is special.
Yeah, because it's cut off by the river, no bridges, just the ferry. It's avoided a lot of modern development. The village of Piedad, the narrow lanes, it just captures the slow pace of old Goa.
So, we've seen the buildings, the ruins, the homes, but to really understand a place, you have to taste it and celebrate with it.
Exactly. You can't separate the culture from the festivals. Take Saojao.
This is the one where they jump into wells, right?
Huh?
Which sounds a little dangerous.
It sounds dangerous, but it's a celebration of the monsoon. The wells are overflowing. Young men jump in to retrieve gifts or bottles of alcohol. It's chaotic, wet, and incredibly joyful.
And Shigmo.
Shigmo is the spring festival. It's rooted in Hindu mythology with folk dances and massive, colorful parades. It's the indigenous heart of Goa beating loud and clear.
And the craftsmanship behind all of this is still alive, too.
Oh, absolutely. In Kunkalam, you have wood carvers. In Ladolam, dial makers. In Savoyvaram, bamboo weavers. These skills are passed down for generations.
Okay, we have to talk about the food, and I don't mean the vindaloo you get at a beach shack.
No, real Goan cooking is about patience. It's slow food.
Tell me about bebinka.
Bebinka is the queen of Goan desserts. It's a layered cake, coconut milk, eggs, jaggery, but you have to bake it one layer at a time. You pour, bake, pour again. A good one has like 7 to 16 layers. It takes hours.
And to Sor Patel.
A spicy pork dish, often fermented in clay pots. The flavors deepen over days. It's better on day 2 or 3.
And the recommendation here is to actually visit a family kitchen, right? Like in Aldona.
Yes. Seeing spices ground on a stone slab, not in a blender, shows you the effort that goes into those flavors. The heat from the stone releases oils that a metal blade just destroys. It's a whole different flavor profile.
So what does this all mean? We've gone from a basalt temple in the mist to a Roman trading port to a cliffside fort and finally to a kitchen.
I think it means the real Goa is found in the silence. It's in the quiet moments, the view from a chapel, the mist in the forest, the taste of a slow-cooked meal. It's not about the noise of the party. It's about the depth of the heritage.
And here's the thought I want to leave you with. We often treat travel as a checklist of must-sees. But how many other places have we visited where entire layers of history are hiding just a few kilometers off the main road, just waiting for someone curious enough to turn the steering wheel?
That's the question. Are you willing to look past the postcard?
If you are ready to do that, and if you decide to travel to Goa, we have a recommendation. 5 Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are immersive cultural experiences. You can email contact@fivesensestours.com. Note 5 is written as a numeral in contact@fivesensestours.com, or WhatsApp 2+ 919-845-677-446.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you on the next deep dive.